Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your morning. We have QQQ up 0.25%. Looks like we just had a really nice run to highs of 326, making new highs for the NASDAQ market. Not too sure why it's running very quickly if the PPI report hasn't even been released just yet. But we'll give it a little bit of time. We have about 7 minutes left until the actual PPI report is actually released. Again, for those that are unaware, the PPI report is the Producer Price Index report. It's found on bls.gov/PPI. It's all free and available to all of you guys. And again, PPI report comes out, core PPI, initial claims, and continuing claims comes all out 1 hour before the market opens, which means in the next 6 minutes, the market should be reacting to these reports. So it should be pretty interesting to see. I'm just gonna take a quick little boomerang for Instagram. Here we go. There's a lot of consolidation. We have a couple people saying that PPI report is supposedly leaked because of how the market is already reacting. But we'll see. We'll see if we actually continue to run up or if this is just something that is getting factored in prior to the actual report being released. Same thing with initial claims and continuing claims, seeing if the market actually responds in a positive or negative way following yesterday's CPI data report. So when is the unemployment report? So it's not unemployment that gets released today, it's the initial claims and continuing claims. So can you guys hear me okay? Is the mic, I think it's because I have the laptop on my lap. Here it goes. I'll move on over here. 1 quick second, I'll take you guys with me. There it goes, NASDAQ. Still running up, still indicating signs of an uptrend. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit more clear. Based off of the designs of the laptop, you should be able to hear me when it's on a flat surface and not my legs. Ricky, on behalf of everyone, we are grateful for you. Appreciate that, Juan. Thank you. Is today's combined data more significant than yesterday's CPI? Usually not, no. At the end of the day, although producers kind of forecast inflation based off of, if inflation gets passed down to them, then they're going to pass inflation to us, right, as a consumer. But at the end of it, it's people always care more about what happens to the consumer and less of what happens to producers, right? So I would still say CPI is there's more eyes on it, therefore market tends to react a little bit more aggressively to it. Ricky, do you ever use stop losses? 100%. I used them yesterday. I use stop limits. Yeah. So if you're part of LPP, I explain how to set them up and the significance of different forms of risk management. There's an entire section in LPP solely focused on risk management, as I deem that to be one of the most important things when it comes down to trading. While a lot of people are focused on, hey, let's try to help you make money. My focus is, well, let me help you keep it, right? And that's why we have such a large section on risk management. So one thing, so in 3 minutes, that PPI report should be out. One of the final reminders that I want to have for you guys is that tomorrow on Friday, we're going to be hosting our free live trading session. I'm going to be giving away $1,000 cash as well. If you haven't saved your spot already, there's a few spots left, and it's the first link in the description down below. If you don't see this link, refresh your screen. It's the first link down below. You should be able to save your spot still for tomorrow, but then there's a cutoff and you won't be able to save your spot anymore. So again, if you want to experience what it's like to watch me trade live for free, but also partake in that $1,000 cash giveaway, then again, it's free to save your spot. First link in the description down below, and I hope to see some of you guys there. If you have any questions about what we talk about today, you're welcome to direct message me at any time. And again, any way to connect with me is all linked in the description of this video. I will never message you first. I will never ask to trade for you. The only team that I work with every single day is my Learn Plan Profit team, and that should be linked in the description down below as well. I struggle with stop losses. I always get taken out quicker and it bounces right after I'm taken out. We do talk about that as well. One of the biggest things, like let's say that there's a support, right? People view like when you're just getting started, support or resistance levels as specific price points. We view it more as like ranges or general areas. So therefore, instead of trying to have your stop loss at a specific price point, here it goes. It's 5:30 a.m. here in Mexico. Market should be reacting. Let's see which way we go. So I'll explain a little bit more on how we can assist you with your issues that you're having with stop losses, but give me one quick second. PPI report should have been out already. Here it goes. So initial advance 0.2% in April. Okay, so that should actually be a drop. That's a drop because expectation was 0.3%. We'll see. Market's just a silly thing. So and inflation only increased by 0.2%. So according to that report and according to expectation, market should respond in a positive way. But let's look at initial claims and continuing claims once this damn thing refreshes. Market is not actually responding in a positive way. It looks like it gapped up to go back and retest that 326.60 resistance, and we've retraced all the way back down to 326 flat. Watch for the break below the EMA here. Watch for the break below the moving average. One of the things that we want to remind you is you do not have to trade these volatile moves. You can wait for direction to be more clear once it's settled, right? Kind of like yesterday. To give you an example, the beautiful thing about trading is that once direction becomes a little bit more clear and we become more overbought and you see some pullback potential, then you can choose to trade those pullbacks. You don't have to trade right at market open and then not know where it's going and then give it all back, right? You can wait for markets to become overbought or oversold, or just go with the flow. And that's another way to potentially approach the market, where instead of trying to predict, all you do is prepare, you wait for overextended plays, and then you manage your position size accordingly. PPI dropped, yep. All right, let's see where these initial claims are. And there it goes, a 0.2% increase, just like we said, with the expectation of 0.3%. So therefore, coming in lower than expected. Initial claims coming in at 264K, meaning more people are filing for unemployment for the first time than originally expected. and even versus our previous time, a lot more. So around nearly around 20,000. So I think it's about 17,000 people have filed for unemployment, more than expected, which again is quite surprising. So this is showing and supporting the case that there is an economic slowdown, and we have 1,813,000 versus 180,000. So again, more people continue to file for unemployment than originally was expected. So let's see if the market reacts. So all of that should support the case that the market should be reacting in a positive way. But the simple question, or the simple concern here is the market overbought enough that it's struggling to continue to make new highs? Or is it just getting started? It looks like it's like a little bit too on the overbought side. It's like at the 4 hour, yep, we should look overextended. But again, overbought does not mean that it can't continue to rally, so we shall wait and see. Ricky, thank you for getting up early. We know that you have family. You sound tired, definitely very tired. Yeah, no, I'm happy to do it. I appreciate you guys as well for taking time out of your mornings, right? I know a lot of you guys might be in the West Coast just like me, right? Or maybe some of you guys I'm catching you in the middle of the day. Nonetheless, I do appreciate you guys taking time and joining these lives, and hopefully I can continue to do that for you. And maybe I'll earn your thumbs up, and maybe you guys can subscribe, right? All right. Let's see. See where we're at. Alright. Sucks you got a cold in Mexico. It's actually not a cold, believe it or not. I mean, if you're part of our LPP team, you know that I'm always sniffling. I just have bad allergies, and I've tried everything under the sun, and none of it works for me. But I'm definitely excited to go back home tomorrow. So tomorrow I head back to Arizona. I won't be going on a trip for a while, and I'm really excited for that. I just want to get back to my routine. We're going to be giving away the GTR. We just have a lot of fun and exciting things coming up. We know that a handful of you have been asking to come visit the HQ, but you've been waiting for me to be there. So I'm excited to have our LPP members visit our HQ. I'm excited to give away the GTR, and I'm literally just excited to be able to wake up and start my morning routine like I normally do. Eat a Chipotle bowl, eat some Raising Cane's, eat some Panda Express. I mean, Mexican food is definitely my favorite, but I guess I'm just a creature of habit, right? And I like to get back to what I do every day. I'm sure you guys understand. And here it goes, nice little pullback. Let's see if we break below and show signs of lower lows and lower highs. So what's the address of the HQ? So you're more than welcome to look it up. It's available on Google, so you guys can search up TechBuds HQ. But I do want to remind you that if you're part of LPP, you do get access to the TechBuds HQ at no additional cost, right? It's only for LPP members. And yeah, I mean, these are the 4 value pillars that you guys get for being a part of LPP. And access to the TechBuds HQ is definitely one of them. So, and of course, the daily live trading sessions, right? There it goes, testing for its support. Let's update these alerts. But let me go back to answering that quick question. Let's not spam the chat. Yeah, so can you carry on explaining? Thank you for the response. Yep. Okay, let's not spam the live chat, or I'm just gonna have to mute you from the entire channel. So just a heads up on that. But when it comes down to a stop loss, I want to give you like a real world example, right? Let's say that first off, the idea of a stop loss, the way that I approach it is, the way that I start out my position, I like to normally split it at least into 3 different pieces. I talk about this in the course in more detail, but very simple example is, let's say that we all have a specific dollar amount that we work with, but we all have only 100%, right? The way that I explain it is I like to split it into 3 different pieces, however it is that you justify it. The first part can be 5 or 10%, it could be more or it could be less, right? The second part can be 20 to 50%, and then the remaining part can be the remaining 50 or however aggressive. It doesn't matter how you split it, it's all dependent on your trading style, and I want to encourage you to do that, right? But the whole point of splitting your position into different pieces is that when you originally enter a position, normally traders enter when it might be still very early. So therefore, if you choose to enter early, normally, there's still the risk of that trade not going according to plan. So by taking a smaller position, right, you're able to actually mitigate your risk by having less money in that play. And therefore, if things go south, one of 2 things. Your stop loss, instead of setting it at an exact price point, let's say that there's a support at 325. Instead of you setting your stop loss at 325, because your position size is now smaller, you're able to be a little bit more flexible with how low your stop loss is. It's not that you need to be super risky, it just gives you the idea, right, or the what word do I want to use? It gives you the capability of being a little bit more to follow a little bit more loosely, right, with that stop loss. So instead of it being at 325, maybe you can have your stop loss at 324.88 or 324.95 or 92, right? It doesn't have to be at that exact price point. That's, I think, the misconception that a lot of beginner traders have is they always think that it has to be, okay, if my support is at 325, my stop loss is at 325 or at 324.99, right? And sometimes when you follow too closely, yes, you do get stop loss out a little bit more consistently, and this is where you need to find your middle ground. So this is why we go originally to talk about position size. By being able to size down your position very early on, and by being a little bit more loose to follow with a further distance with that stop loss, you're able to not get stopped out as quickly, and you have more or less money on the line, right? So when asking yourself, when you get stop lossed out, what are normally the negative takeaways? Maybe there's 3, right? The first one is, well, you just wasted a day trade. The second one is you lost probably a larger amount of money. And the third one is you get stop loss more consistently because you follow so closely to where that support is. And now by sizing down and by following at a further distance, you risk less money. You're probably less likely to get stop lossed out. And if you do get stop lossed out, again, at that point, it's still the focus of risk management. It's not that you're trying to avoid risk, you're just choosing to do it in a more, I would say, calculated way. You guys can let me know what you think when it comes down to that, sizing down and then following at a little bit more of a distance. And you guys can let me know what you think. But at least for us, it at least gives us the kind of luxury of being able to follow at a further distance while still risking less money, right? And to me, those are both positive takeaways. I'm risking less money. I know I'm early to a potential reversal, and now I'm less likely to get stop lossed out because I'm following at a further distance. So smaller the position size, the more flexible stop loss you can have. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Okay. Do you mind if you explain what the PDT rule is? You can Google search that. Remember, we're not here to answer questions. You can Google search, but it's literally super simple. If you're in the US and you have a margin account, you have 3-day trades within a 5 business day period. That's all. If you have a cash account, you're not limited to your day trades. You're just limited to the 2-day settlement period. With a budget of $300, what would you invest in? And again, this is just me being completely honest. If you're trying to learn how to trade, you don't need money, right? Trying to learn, right? Just when you go to school, there's a lot of broke college students. Everyone starts pretty much at nothing. If you want to learn how to do something, you don't necessarily need money. But if you actually want to make money and all you have is $300, I really don't think, at least with the way that I trade, that's just, you need more money. I'm not here to sugarcoat things for you. To learn how to do something, you can paper trade. There's simulation trading, right? You're able to practice everything that you're learning online and actually learn from it, right? And hopefully actually implement progress. But it just depends on how serious you want to take it. With $300, it's just like, what are you trying to turn that into? I don't trade options. I don't trade super risky trades. If that's the approach that you want to take, I'm not here to discourage you or to sway you away from that. I'm just saying that our focus is to try to be consistent in what we do, right? And to actually build an understanding in what we're doing. And we wouldn't see, crypto type of returns and stuff like that, but also that you don't experience that crypto type of risk. So it all just depends on, what your approach is. My focus with those $300 is to save more money, right? As you're learning how to trade, save more money. Why? Like, you don't need to be in such a rush to try to make it or break it. So here it goes. So I had it on the 5-minute time frame. That's why we weren't seeing much movement. So we have a lot of consolidation here. It's testing its support range. You see that right around 326. So testing its support range, seeing if we hold above and or if we break below and then sell off. PPI report come out. That is correct. PPI report came in at 0.2, which is lower than what was expected, but doesn't look like the market is reacting in too much of a positive way. This rally actually happened before the PPI report. We've kind of just been consolidating since the report has been out. So we're just sitting around at yesterday's highs. That is correct. So old resistance levels showing signs of, yep, I think that's a perfect way to put it, right? And just like we talked about earlier when they asked the question about a stop loss, this is something that I talk about with my Learn Plan Profit group every morning when we're talking about support or resistance levels. I view yesterday's resistance, even though that they're not exact, they're all within the same range, right? They're all at the higher 325 level, right? So therefore, right now that we've pulled on back and we're testing that 26 level, right? Or higher 325, that's all within the same range. Our old resistance as of yesterday is testing to become our new support, right? And vice versa. There's been many times where if we break below support, old support levels that therefore then become new resistance levels, right? If we break below 325 and we sell off to 322, when it comes back, it's going to struggle to break above 325 normally, as it should, right? Do you trade options, and what's your profile currently at? No, I do not trade options, never have, never will. I mean, watch any of my videos. Where have you ever seen me either talk about options or trading options? I mean, I literally trade the same pair of ETFs every single day, right? I have a very simple way to trade. I understand that it's not for everyone, but it's for those that don't want to overcomplicate their trading, right? As long as you focus on one thing, and that's market direction, that's ultimately what's most important. And it works well for me. It works well for a lot of people that tend to always feel the need to be chasing stocks or overcomplicating what it is that they're doing. This is, in my opinion, a great way for people that are students or people that have jobs that just want to learn how to either trade when they have the time and or invest long term. And that's exactly what we break down, right? Yeah, Dawson, it happens, man. I agree. So I have 34K. Oh, what the? Oh, looks like that was just a bug. It happens sometimes. There's some broken candles. Do you guys have this broken candle as well? So I have 34K in the stock market. It's a majority of my savings. Should I day trade or long-term invest? I mean, I definitely don't think that if that is all that you have to your name, I don't think that you should be trading with all of it, right? Especially if you're still learning how to trade, right? It's like asking that question. If you're just learning how to do something, why would you put all your eggs in one basket when you're still learning about it, right? If you wanted to allocate a small amount of that and you actually know how to trade, then great. But remember, you can do that with a very small dollar amount and still have your money invested in long-term plays that are much safer, right? Maybe some form of ETF such as QQQ or SPY that has exposure to some of the biggest companies in the world. What is the time here? The time is 5:49 a.m. So we're going to be going live in a couple of minutes with our LPP team. So my account value is 5K and I'm 17. Your best idea. Love LP. I'm traveling over the summer and me and my grandpa are going to trade and watch your stream. Nice. So what is your best idea if you were me? Again, Braylon, first off, you're 17 years old, right? And you're starting at a very early age. So something that you have in your favor that some people don't is time. And because you're 17, you don't have to figure it all out right now. So my biggest suggestion for you is, out of the 5K that you have to your name, whatever it is that you feel comfortable trading with, if it's $500 or $1,000, I mean, you can literally just paper trade if that's what you want. But my biggest recommendation is actually learn from your mistake. One of the biggest things from other people is they can take every course out there, they can watch every video out there, but they continue to make the same mistake over and over again. What I learned very early on in my life is I wanted to do well in areas where people lacked. And it's that simple in life, right? Don't get into credit card debt. Don't spend money you don't have. Don't steal, right? Very simple things that can get you out of trouble. And if you can simply apply your focus in areas where most people lack, then you're gonna always normally be above the curve, right? So having money saved. So when trying to apply that when it comes down to trading is risk management, locking in profits, not being greedy, being very micro-focused in a specific area where you become a true expert in versus trying to understand the entire market, right? And you have so much time to learn about that. If you're 17 and you don't actually start trading with real money until 20, then guess what? You're still super young, right? And at least by that time, if you're actually learning from your mistakes and not making the same mistakes over and over again, if you actually implement progress, right, in your work, then over time, there's no question, even at 20, you'll end up doing really well. And I'm just using that as an example because I want to remind you that you shouldn't be in a rush to try to make it or break it right now. And I hope that you can listen to that. Reiki, how would high inflation affect SPY? So SPY is made up of the S&P 500, right? SPY is an S&P 500 ETF. So part of that is, tech, a decent part of that. And tech is very negatively influenced by when inflation is high. Federal Reserve raises interest rates, making it more expensive to borrow money. And now everyone suffers from that, right? So therefore, if all these companies begin to suffer because it's more expensive to borrow money, right? As all these companies began to lay off employees and stuff like that, it has a negative influence to overall markets, not just SPY, not just NASDAQ, all that stuff. Hey Ricky, can you replace the giveaway 1K to a membership to LPP team? We're eager to see what's coming. What's going on, Hamzat? So it's something that I can talk to my team about, but tomorrow is definitely going to be the 1K giveaway. Maybe on another giveaway I can host a free profile for LPP or something like that. But yeah. I guess we'll leave it at that, but I don't think that's a bad idea. I wanted to make sure that we talked about it last week. We've been talking about it all week for the $1,000 giveaway. I know a lot of people are excited for it. So again, friendly reminder, if you guys haven't saved your spot, the first link in the description down below, you can save your free spot for our free live trading session tomorrow, May 12th, and it's going to be right at market open. So you do have to wake up early, but if you're watching this live, then you should be just fine. And yes, I will be giving away $1,000. And again, if you want to save your spot, it's the first link in the description down below. So, all right, market is literally trading sideways, and I have about 30 minutes until my live trading session with the LPP team. So I'm going to leave it here. If you guys have any specific questions that you guys want to ask me, you're welcome to direct message me at any time. I respond to all of my direct messages, and that's all I can ever encourage you to do. Is if you actually have questions that you cannot find the answer to, if you have any specific questions about joining my team, about visiting us, whatever the case might be, send me a direct message. Like, stop overcomplicating it or overthinking it. Just shoot me a DM via Discord or via Instagram, and again, that's all linked in the description down below. There's a bunch of fake accounts on Discord, there's a bunch of fake accounts on Instagram, there's a bunch of fake accounts here on YouTube. Remember, I will never trade for you. I will never ask you for personal information. I will never ask you to fund an account. I work with one team. If you want to work with me, I work with one team and one team only, and that's my Learn, Plan, Profit team. It's linked in the description down below. It's the second or third link. You're welcome to check it out. You don't have to sign up. But if you, again, want to work with me on a closer basis, then, again, that is who I work with every single day right at market open. So yes, I do go live at market open, which means that in 34 minutes, I'll be live with them. So I wish you guys nothing but the best. Hope that we're in the thumbs up. I just saw someone saying that the Discord link is invalid. I'll make sure that I go and refresh it. So appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Hope that I earned your thumbs up. And again, don't forget to save your free spot for the free live trading session. And that's that first link down below. Take care, team.